All right. I think I've got something working now. Maybe, possibly. I don't know. I got 5 out of 6 things connected. Oh, okay. Here we go. Okay. How do I get rid of this? How do I get rid of this? Now, can I make it bigger? I guess so. There we go. That's how you do it. Okay. All right. Well, I brought some new toys out here with me. I have a vintage Gold Touch portable keyboard. It splits in the middle and you can lock it into different positions, but it was just one of those weird, nerdy thrift store finds. I couldn't believe I was finding one for like $10 or something. It's a really good keyboard. It's also has a it has a numpad that's separate, which is also a USB hub. It's probably a USB 1.1. It's pretty old, so I'm guessing it's probably it's about as old as a piece of USB hardware can be, as far as I know. I really don't know. I could look on my device manager and see if it's a real. Hi, Lauritsen. Hi, good to see you. Oh, I should look now on my YouTube. Let me go to my YouTube control room and just kind of make sure that, hang on a second, what have I done here? No, I just clicked the wrong thing here. Go live. That's all I need to do, right? No. Oh, I see. That's the wrong, no. Okay, I get it. Never mind. I don't want to do that. I just want to, it's the wrong browser. Okay, where is this puppy? Here we go. I click go live, and I think I go to, yeah, there's my stream. And then I can kind of look at my settings, which are always wrong, and then some of them are right, but it doesn't look like they're right. But it looks like they're right now, so I'll save them as they are, I think. Let me see. What? Okay. Yeah, that's basically all I need, is just to save these. Okay, I did that, and I don't really have to do anything else. I mean, there are some kind of settings. I'm doing fine. Okay, I can close this browser now. Everything else is pretty good, you know, as far as the way it works. Everything works fine, except oh, there's a good thumbnail of me pulling my dreads down right at the beginning of the stream. That's pretty funny. Okay. Every time you refresh it, do you get a different one? Let's see. Let me reload it and see if I get a different thumb this time. No, I got the same thing. I don't know. Yeah, I'm not sure how that works. But I'm doing good. Um, I'm doing fine. I thought I would do a stream from the backyard. I thought I might work a little bit. I thought I may, since I've been making some actual videos here and there. And so I thought maybe if there's no one to talk to, I might just work on some scripts and see how that goes. I've got my extra keyboard here, so I don't have to lean in over here. So I don't have to lean in over here and type like on my laptop there, which is too far away. So I've got this puppy, which is just a keyboard without the numpad. The numpad is separate. And it's kind of heavy. It's pretty heavy, you know. This is really old school. It's old school. It's thick. It's heavy. It's probably like a USB 1 device, but it still works. It still works. This is a keyboard that kind of works with even really old computers, because a lot of newer computers, like, they have kind of a hub built in or something, and this one does sort of, but I don't know. Like the numpad that goes with it is also a hub, and you can plug two things into it. But I just have the keyboard plugged into it. Lauritsen, don't you know how old I am, don't you? You've been on here before, I think. You know, I think, don't you? Or are you just asking me so that I'll say it again? Yeah, I remember too. Well, you know, then you know that I'm around 60. So I'm old enough to be probably everyone on here's grandfather, just because most people that come on my stream that drop in are pretty young. I don't know why. I mean, basically, I guess it's just that younger people have more time to poke around on the internet and do stuff, and, you know, adults are usually busy and working or whatever. I don't know. I can't really tell, though. I can't tell how old you are just by like a few lines of text. But yeah, I'm 60, so and of course, you know, this hairstyle, my beard is colored, so, and this hairstyle obviously creates kind of an age ambiguity effect, which, you know, in a sense, it makes me look like a stoner in his mid-20s or something like that, but, no, I'm actually much older than that, so, but I thought you knew how old I was. You know, I think I probably will. I haven't done a tuber stream in a long time, but I actually enjoy doing that, actually. It's silly, it's silliness, but it's a very limited game, but it's something to do with your fingers while you're talking about whatever else. I probably will do some more of that. I did it for a while, and, you know, I guess I got a lot of people coming on because of that. I don't know why, too. But some people, well, I guess I don't need my, like PewDiePie says, why am I wearing headphones? I don't really need my earphones in. I probably talk too loud while I have them in because I'm not monitoring through there. So, this is sort of a random stream. I'm just sitting in my backyard, and because it's a nice day. It's sort of partially cloudy. It's sort of it's sort of uh, I don't know how to characterize it, but it's a beautiful day, so I thought I'd put my umbrella up and just hang out here with my laptop. This all grew out of me uh um I came out here to work on my laptop, and then while I was out here, this was like I don't know, a week or two ago. I came out here to work on my laptop. I hadn't fired it up in a while because I don't go anywhere. I got some pretty good mobile technology, really. I mean, I got a good phone. I've got a nice tablet. I've got a Microsoft Surface tablet, and that one pretty much stays in the bedroom all the time. I hardly ever do anything with it. And then I've got this MSI laptop, which is pretty good. It's a gaming laptop. It's, of course, that means it's always hot, but it's sitting on a fan, cooler thingy. And then today I thought, when it got quiet, yeah, I mean, that's pretty much what people say. Like Adam Sandler did this character from, he did a character from Saturday Night Live on this movie called The Hot Chick. And that's, and his signature line is he would show people stuff and he would say, oh, and you can put your weed in there. Like, here's a little sculpture of an African city. And then he'd lift up the roof and go, and you can put your weed in there. And, every time I see myself in the mirror now, that's kind of what I say. I kind of look at it and I go, and you can put your weed in there. But anyway, not that I have any weed, because I don't. I'm just high on life. Yeah, well, I'm wearing a Rusty Cage shirt. This is the family-friendly Noose Game song shirt. I love Rusty Cage. I got a couple of different merch items from him, actually. I've got this one, and I've got Z-List YouTuber, which is perfect for me because I am a Z-List YouTuber. So I like Rusty Cage's music. I think it's very good, and Rusty Cage's stories are very good too. And I think he's a very talented guy. He's very entertaining, and he's a good creator. And I feel like him and his buddies, YouTube went after Mumkey Jones for no reason. Who was just a humor site, and now his friend Mumkey is not on YouTube anymore. And I was always afraid Rusty was going to get deplatformed from YouTube. I don't know why. I mean, he doesn't really do controversial stuff, but he does do edgy humor, which I guess YouTube has decided they don't like anymore. Considering that's what built their site, that seems ironic. But yeah, I like Rusty. Did you ask me that because you recognize my shirt? New York in the house. NY, are you in New York on D Live? Are you in New York State or in New York City? Mr. Sequence or Miss Sequence. I don't know, like, it's weird when people drop in on, usually I get people dropping in on Mixer. For some reason that's been a thing lately, like lots and lots of people drop in, but you just never know. It has a lot to do with the time of day, I think. But I don't know. like I said, I don't know. I never know what's going to happen in these streams. Sometimes I get a few people watching, or sometimes I get a lot, sometimes I get none. I just never know. I don't really promote it on social media, which is probably what I should do. And show us your gaming laptop. I can do that. Let's see. So I could do IP. I could do IP smartphone, right? Oh wait, isn't that like Oh, I could. You see, that's what I can do. I should be. That's all I had to do is hit that. Okay, right. Hi on Mixer. Grubby Bassoon 70. Let's see. I think I can. I'm doing okay. I'm just hanging out doing a random stream. I don't know why, but I'm sitting in my backyard with my laptop. All right. So let's see. If I want to do, let me see what I got here. I got IP webcam. It's a little laggy, but now how do I get this to start? Okay. Oh, here we go. Like this. All right. Now, the question is, so if I want to make this available, okay, let me see. So while that's on, I gotta create a. Oh, I can do this right on. I can do this right on this view, because I can go on here. I can go on here with. There we go. Okay, so. Yeah. All right, let's. You can put your weed in there. All right, let's say. Okay, let me get this. All right. Okay, yeah, there we go. Is that it? That's all I need? I think I just had to hit enter. All right, let's see what happens. I think I just click browser. All right. Now, can I just magnify this up to, I don't know, it doesn't matter. I'll just, this is, there's my laptop. It's got colored keys. There right now they're set to blue, but you can't see it really because it's too bright out here. But they're set to blue, all blue. In fact, and then you can kind of see there's my microphone that I'm using here, and then there's the numpad that goes with the keyboard. I think if I put this in background mode, it actually gets a better frame rate. But since I'm just showing you stuff, and then there's my Gold Touch, vintage Gold Touch keyboard that goes with that numpad. So, you know, it's sitting in my lap so I can type. And it's pretty neat. It's old. It's really old. I did not buy it new, even though I also am old. But let's see. But anyway, actions. What are my actions? Oh, run in the background. Okay. Oh, all right. Is it running? So, oh, I do. I get a better frame rate. I get a slightly better frame. I mean, I think I need to turn the details down. Like it's way. I think I'm going with the full resolution of my. I'm going with the full resolution of my camera, which is way too high resolution for what I'm doing here. And then my cheap webcam, which is built into my laptop, it's a 720p resolution webcam that's built in. So there you can kind of see. There's my dad's old bicycle, which I should give away to someone. It's not like I never ride this. I have a mountain bike that I built out of old ghetto spare parts. Oh yeah, this keyboard is really dirty. It's because it's been sitting around a lot. I think it's pretty dirty. It's been on a shelf for a long time. This is the first time I brought it out in a long time. I really haven't had a use for it in years. So I just took it off the shelf, and whatever condition it's in, it's pretty dusty. So it definitely needs a toothbrush or something, you know. I need to brush it off and give it a good cleaning. So that's it. There's my soda. And these are my bushes. I'm getting a very low frame rate now. But like I said, I'm using way too high a resolution. Like my phone has like a massive high resolution, and there's no reason to be using that high a resolution for this. And that's causing me to have a low frame rate. So I've got these juniper trees. Some are tall, pretty tall. And then these ones in the front, though, they're not very tall. They've been cut down, but they're growing again. So they used to give me good shade back here in the morning, but the homeowners association made me cut them, so I don't know. Next time, I don't think I'll cut them. I think when they tell me to cut them, I'll just ignore it. So I'll have some shade again here. Looks terrible, like I need to water these so they'll grow tall faster again this summer. Maybe they'll grow up and give me some real height. They're starting to grow up again though. So, you know, and in the distance, there's a big weeping willow. It's huge, along with a big cottonwood back there. Anyway, there you go. I think what they said was you can run this in the background by just pushing the home key. So that's all you have to do to run it in the background, I guess. Is that true? Yeah. All right. Certainly better quality camera you get in your cell phone is if you can get decent throughput, but you don't get, like, I don't get really good throughput on this. But there again, you know, I think I have my camera set to way too high a resolution. So I should set that to something reasonable. But since I'm just showing you my laptop, that's, you know. It's not brand new, you know, it's a pretty good one. It's got a Core i7 in it. It's a pretty good one. But anyway, let's see. How do I okay, like that. I think I can. How do I did I do that? Did I stop the server? I think I did. Okay. Okay. There we go. All right. What did I do? Did I just close my browser window, or did it crash? I can't recall. Oh, I see. Okay, well, whatever. And you can see the stream there. Ah, different thumbnail now. I guess I can shut that off. So maybe I could just go back to this. Yeah. Hey, how come I'm not getting emoticons? I thought, you know, like, oh, maybe not on this, maybe not on the web widget. I see. Because I know, like emoticons were working. On the desktop version of the restream.io chat client. This allows me to see most of my chat. I can't chat at Facebook, but I can see the Facebook chat if I get it. I think I'm on 5 platforms, so recently, like I kind of mentioned before, recently they upgraded my internet, and they laid a bunch of new fiber in, and I've got really good throughput now, so I can stream at whatever I want, like 5,000 if I want, or 6,000, and it's pedal to the metal, even during busy times of day, and even over Wi-Fi, which I'm kind of surprised, you know, that my Wi-Fi router here is fast enough for streaming, but evidently it is. So that's a thing, I guess. I'm just hanging out here. I don't know really what I'm doing or why. I'm just here. So I don't know, like how is this centered all right? Yeah, it is. I think I just took the sides in for that one. Watch which video? Did you send me a link? I might have to mod you in order for you to send me a link, actually, if you're not modded. I don't know. Let me see. Let me see if you are. I gotta look at. I gotta bring up my. I gotta bring up my account. Chat. Really regular YouTube. I gotta chat. Bring up my account. Chat. Really regular YouTube. I can promote you. Chat. Really regular YouTube. Okay. I can promote you. Okay, I've modded you so you can really regular YouTube. Okay, you can post links now. Otherwise I don't think you could on YouTube. YouTube, it kind of like filters out links for some reason. And of course I can't click on it, but let me see what it is here. I gotta copy paste it. Yeah, let's do that.
Okay, 672, så fuck dem alle sammen. Lav kæreste, fuck dem alle sammen. Sidst var deres navn, men der er masser af bedst, at de var så fuck dem alle sammen. Vældig, hvad ellers så kan du mig hvem du med, der vil kalde veninder. Jeg kan tilgive, men ikke glem, da jeg banker på en døgn, var det ikke hjem. Dybt inde i min sjæl, det kan jeg føle det. Den er helt speciel, fuck den følelse. Sad færst til væk for længst, for mit bund hvor højt som teknofest. Jeg har kællinger, har sagt fortællinger, jeg tror det bedste skal vælge mig, jeg tror ikke de kender mig. Sidst jeg så var du hater, nu er du mit diva, vil gerne hænge med mig. I skål, jeg er vild for, som må på blister. Mit show, du får en vildhold, du er på gaden, kan det blok på, så jeg er det værd, det min postnummer kræver. 672, så fuck dem alle sammen. Lav kæreste, fuck dem alle sammen. Min skilsnår, deres der mønter som match, jeg er den bedste, de vil så fuck dem alle sammen.
Is that you? Or a friend? I give it a like. Oh, okay. Okay. So, what language was that? I probably got claimed from playing that. That's the trouble, is when people do music stuff like that, you know, and if I play it on my stream, I'll get claimed. And it doesn't matter, I guess, because, oh, it's Danish. So it's like, I won't, like, I don't, it doesn't really matter because, I'm not monetized. I don't have enough subscribers to even try to get monetized. Although I think I've passed every other hurdle that you need to pass. I got enough views because of this one old video that I have, and I've got because like 14 years ago I put a video up and it got 27,000 views just over time, you know, just because it's so old. And so yeah, it'd be pretty cool to be monetized so that I could know the joys of being demonetized, I guess. constantly claimed and demonetized. So we can give her a sub, right? That'd be fine. I always like playing PewDiePie videos, but you know, he doesn't claim people, he doesn't care, but you know, his old videos though, he's got so much copyrighted music on there that you always get claimed by several people. Is this a playlist? No. I cannot do that. I have never even attempted it, so that would be an interesting thing to try, though, and I've kind of been actually kind of curious. I've actually been kind of curious to try that, like see if I think I need to study up on some of the techniques, though, you know, so that I could at least have an idea what I'm doing. Because, you know, when people don't know how to rap and then they try, it's just really cringy. And it might be good if I knew some of the techniques for it, you know. I feel like it would go better for me if I did a little studying. But yeah, it's kind of interesting. I wonder where all the people on Mixer are today. Usually they yeah, I was the guy using the beach as a green screen maybe a few streams ago. That's me. That is me. Yeah. I can do that out here too, but I have to use Zoom for that because I don't have a green screen, so I can Oh wait, I can't. Right, I can't do that because I have to. Oh wait. Um, isn't it true that if I do that, I can start the video like this, and I could do. I can do beach. Sort of. Using a zoom window. Maybe I should make it smaller so it's not in the way of my chat. Say like that. And I could then I could make it like kind of like that, you know. Do I like Jenna Mabels? I do not know Jenna Mabels. I can look her up though. Let's find out. Let's find out who she is. What happened? Uh, let's find out. Um, I'm gonna mute the system thing now. But let's see. Uh, she does men's haircuts. She does. You mean Jenna Marbles, right? I'm assuming. Uh, I'm assuming you mean Jenna Marbles. That is that true? Um, got 20 million subscribers. That's pretty good. Looks like I'm subscribed to her. I don't know why actually. Evidently, I'm subscribed to her. Maybe she did a pro PewDiePie stream or video. Because I know like some big YouTubers that I don't watch too much. I did subscribe to them because they subscribed or they did a Pew video at least. So when people promoted PewDiePie during when the sub to PewDiePie thing was going on, I subbed to them when they did a thing. Maybe she did a PewDiePie thing. Um, yeah, she's been at it a pretty long time. What's her oldest video? 10 years. That's old school. I hate my roommate, part 2. Um, her old videos still have like millions of views. Her oldest, at 10 years old. She probably deleted some videos, but see what her best video. Does she have anything viral? Let me see. Yeah, 69 million views. How to trick people into thinking you're good looking. Um, but yeah, she's got a number. How to trick people into thinking you're good. That 9 years ago. It's old. That must have been a seminal video. Uh, I probably could play that one. Unless I don't know, is she one of those people that strikes people for playing their videos? Like some people do. Like you wouldn't think they would because it helps promote them, but like I played a Red Letter Media video the other day on stream, and I got claimed. So I think they're great, but man, I don't know why they do that. I think they may do it just because they don't know any better. They never they never they never dove deep into their video hosting settings and turned that crap off because that's what you should do. Um, I don't know. I mean, come to think of it, I've never done that either, so who knows? But I could be mine could be set wrong too. Because there might be like a default setting that like you allow so many minutes of your videos to be played, but then after that you copyright them or um you know they all use the like YouTube uses kind of like a Bezier windowing function to determine like when they analyze your video um they analyze your video from uh I guess I should play the beach sound too if I'm doing where's my beachy program. I didn't pin that to my taskbar. Why didn't I? uh I will do it right now. Okay, here goes the splash to taskbar there. That'll make it easier. And because if I'm gonna have the beach in the background, I should have the sound too. But wow, it's late. What are you doing up? How come you speak English and I don't speak Danish? Is it because our schools suck in America? But um I kind of wonder. I have a version of this background too in my desktop computer. I could actually import that view over here if I wanted, but I have been too lazy. I just only made a few views for my laptop. But actually, I've got all the assets on the cloud, so I could actually either remake them or I could just import them. Because I keep all my stream stuff in cloud storage. So, like, there's this gal that comes on my stream sometimes, and she's like 10 years old, and she learned English just from watching YouTube videos. And she has an American accent and everything. It's amazing. Like when she speaks English, you can't even tell. You can't even tell she's uh from Sweden. It's the most amazing thing. And of course, I think she's especially smart, but I think it's a lot easier to do when you're 8 or 9 or 10 to pick up a new language. But it's harder to do when you're my age or even when you're in your 20s or grown. You're basically a grown up. When you're a grown up, it's pretty hard to do. So you learned how to speak English watching YouTube? That's just amazing. Uh, Gosh, I wish we'd had YouTube when I was a kid. I would have been watching videos in German because I tried to learn German when I was in high school. My mom speaks German. My dad speaks Italian. And well, spoke. My dad has passed away, but uh, but my mom is still with us right now, and and she speaks fluent German. She is from Germany. My dad is from Italy, and I really learned very little German or Italian, from them. So, oh, there we go. I forgot to turn my sound on. I had my beach sound playing, but I had it muted. Okay, that's better then. There. What does that mean, getting 12 in English? Is that years? 12 years? Or is that a score? I mean, I think, like PewDiePie wouldn't have 100 million subscribers if he didn't learn to speak English. Pretty amazing, really. Um, but do they like teach English in Danish schools? Like I know in a lot of schools oh yeah, it's the best score you can get. Um, I guess they teach English there. Like I guess they do in Swedish school. I believe my German teacher back in the day told me that English was mandatory in German schools too. Um, I guess a lot of people learn English from a lot of people learn English in school. Um, I would not say so, although perhaps for a guy I am, relatively speaking. But um, but yeah, I wouldn't say that. It's really curvycom. The reason why my handle is curvycom is because I have the domain curvy.com. And I'm not really using it for anything. I am kind of wanting to use it as a launch page, but right now it doesn't have much on it. It does have sort of a points to a WordPress document, but um, I didn't really put a lot of thought in what I would call myself online, so there you go. Um, so um, I'm fairly ordinary sized. So oh, I get it. Well, I gotta say, there's no way to prove last Thursdayism isn't a thing, but um, except by Occam's razor. Occam's razor suggests that um, that last Thursdayism is not the answer to why things are the way they are. Now, now all you guys show up on Mixer. It's pretty interesting. And thanks for the follow. I think Hypebot told me you're following. I appreciate that. It's pretty neat. It's a pretty neat idea. It's something to ponder, you know. It's a big brain thing, I guess. I mean, you know, if it's the case, there's no way to tell. It's almost like, you know, it's this idea that there are only there's a very large but finite number of states the universe can be in. So that's another thing to ponder, that like everything that's happening now has definitely happened before somewhere else in time and space, but it would be so remote. It's like the library of, I can't remember what it's called, the library of Wasname. It's the theoretical library that has every book ever written or possible to write. And so it has, like, most of the books in it are, they just have random characters and letters and whatever in them. They're random, and so basically you could search your entire lifetime or many lifetimes, never find a real book that's actually complete, because all the possible books you could write are mostly random. And so it really kind of renders the repeating universe concept completely irrelevant too, because while it's technically true that all of this has probably happened at some point, it has been so remote, and it's so long ago, and or long in the future, or long, you know, I mean, it's so, or alternate universe, whatever. It's so it's such a needle in a haystack, basically, that it's irrelevant. If you had infinite dimensional travel ability, you couldn't find the universe. Oh, probably not. Probably not, because why would it be the only flat thing? I mean, you'd have to say it's a construct then. You know, if the Earth were flat, it would be a construct, and it would be unlike anything else in the known universe. That seems very unlikely too. That's kind of an Occam's razor thing too. Occam's razor suggests that the Earth is not flat, and you can do that without being you can do that without being like going up into space and looking at the Earth, you know. But on the other hand, you know, I think Eratosthenes not only did a successful experiment proving the Earth was a ball, but he also very, very closely estimated the size of the Earth. So, and that's like thousands of years ago. He did an amazing experiment with two clocks. He had to invent a clock to do this experiment. He did an experiment with two clocks and measuring shadows. And he was able to determine that the Earth was. I mean, he actually got it within, I think, within a few thousand miles of its actual circumference. So it's pretty amazing, actually, considering he was using basically Bronze Age tools to do things, to measure. But it's like interesting. The Flat Earth Society has been around for a long time, like decades and decades and decades, and it's sort of when you hear people talk from it, it's hard to tell if they're serious or they're trolling, because some of them are clearly trolling, and some of them aren't. But it's hard to tell what's what in that sphere. It seems like it's just fun to use logical and ontological arguments to what's my view on Schrodinger's cat? Schrodinger's cat is dead because Schrodinger lived many, many, many decades ago and died, and so therefore Schrodinger's cat, if alive, is now dead, and if dead, is still dead. But on the other hand, you know, that really is all about quantum uncertainty, and it's kind of interesting. There's been a few experiments in recent years that kind of support quantum uncertainty as a real thing. And it kind of establishes like that under some conditions, once you've set it up, that instantaneous communication might actually be possible too. So like between two planets. Once you get a set located in another solar system, they can be like quantum entangled. They start quantum entangled, and then you can somehow use that to communicate. It's sort of a theory that's been going around in science fiction for a long time, but the math supports it. So it makes you realize that with quantum entanglement, you could probably do some things like send information faster than light, and that you could maybe even do teleporting. It's possible. It's conceivable. It's not the kind of thing where you'd have to make a copy and then destroy the original. It's using quantum entanglement, meaning that the copy, it's not a copy, it's you, and you're either here or you're there, but you can't be in both places. So, there'd have to be a number of paradigm shifts, though, to make that possible, I'm guessing. Well, you know, that may or may not be true. When I started streaming, my tagline was, "I'm a lamer and I suck." So, you know, but that was kind of a joke on the early internet, where basically one of the jokes going around is that the internet, the whole purpose of the internet, this is before the internet is for porn meme, But the whole purpose for of the internet was just to for everyone to tell everyone else that they suck. So yeah, thanks for the dread comment and whatever. They're not done though. I still have a little bit left in the back to do. I want to be one of the cool kids, but I never was. So, but in any case, yeah, they're not done yet. They're mostly done. I got just a little bit left in the back here to do still. It's taken me a long time. They take forever to do. I know I'm not. I've never been on a surfboard. Ever. And I have not smoked a joint in 40 years or more. So, or somewhere around there anyway. So, not for me, let's put it that way. It was a little too in. Although, you know, every time I look in the mirror and I think of that, I just say, you can put your weed in there, because that line from the movie. See you later, Lauritsen. It actually is windy out here today. If I see, if I switch here, it probably won't. I'd have to shut Zoom off, right, to get my webcam back. I'm not using multi-splitter because I'm not using multi-splitter because not using multi-splitter because it on this laptop it introduces some delay. Maybe I don't have it configured correctly, but it's pretty windy, like so if I let's try this, right? Right? Yeah, okay. I don't know if you can see, like, it's pretty windy right now. Uh, there's my laptop. So back to the beach is better. Okay. go. So, let's see what we got here. Read me a poem. Let's try that. Nobody's ever asked me that before, and I know you guys are just being silly, but what happens if I do read you a poem? What will happen? Okay. I have to find something that I like that I can read. Got to make it bigger so I can see it properly. How's that? Here we go. All right, this is a sonnet. It's called No More. And just like clockwork, the air conditioning went on outside. All right, let's try. No touch, no sleep, no rest, no love like mine for thee shall e'er console me in my place of rest. No more shall any weight of thine my breast console, no more thy fairest face. Then my whole creation be contained. No more shall I awaken, feel my heart and thine, and should not feel that there be twain, not rhythm, nor our beings made to part. No more shall flesh be moved, nor move mine own, but by neither wish, nor thought, nor even touch. Such a fervent height we have known, as only I, thou, have felt this. Die in perpetuity endure, no more, no more, no more, no more, no more. That was one. That is part of a long sequence of maybe 12 or so, or I think that's right. Read the Bible, hippie. The grandfather paradox. Well, basically, it's like this. You didn't kill your grandfather, or give your grandfather a note that nobody wrote because you just gave it to him and then he gave it back to you. That didn't happen. But on the other hand, if time travel were possible, and so you could go back and then you did kill your grandfather, say if you tried to kill your grandfather and as it turns out you were successful, what that would mean is that you created a quantum event and the universe split at that point, just as it always does. You know, if you subscribe to the kind of quantum possibilities, kind of multi-universes, all possibilities exist simultaneously, kind of you would not fade after killing him. So that is the least likely. That's the best for a movie, but that's the least likely thing that could or would happen. But on the other hand, Back to the Future 1985 was a really great movie. So, you know, in that respect, who knows? Yeah, different multiverse. That's probably what would happen. Or if there's not all possibilities existing at once, then the conventional literary wisdom is you go back in time, try to kill your grandfather, you did not succeed. So obviously it's already happened. So you've already been back there because it's now. So that means if you went back in time to kill your grandfather, you already have done that, or you will have done it at some point, which means it never happened because here you are. So it's one of those two things that's the most likely. But I don't know. It's kind of interesting because well, no, because you weren't successful in killing your grandfather because you're still alive. So if you did go back in time, it's likely that if you tried to kill your grandfather, that means you weren't successful because here you are. But on the other hand, if you can just do whatever you want back in time and it is possible to kill your grandfather, then you killed a different version of your grandfather and you created a quantum uncertainty, created two different possibilities, one in which you exist, one in which you don't. That suggests you can't affect the timeline that you actually exist in, which also means you probably can't return to the same timeline that you came from. So, yeah, I mean, so I don't know if I'm good at reading a poem, but I just read one anyway, so that's a thing. That one, I gotta refresh my memory. Oh yeah. Yeah, I know what that is. It's Hilbert's. It's yeah. The Grand Hotel paradox, because it deals with the infinite. It deals with the infinite, so it's not really a paradox, but it gives you it's a thought experiment that kind of illustrates how counterintuitive the idea of infinite sets is. So it's kind of like that, really. So I feel like it's not really a paradox. It's similar to, in a way, it's similar to Zeno's paradox because it's not addressing the actual issue, which is whether people are in rooms or not. So, at some point, if you add enough extra guests, if you start adding lots and lots of extra guests, what ends up happening is most people are in the hallway most of the time. So, you know, sometimes you have to look at this in a slightly different way. You know? I don't know. Nothing comes to mind, really. Sometimes they can be framed in such a way as to make them like paradoxes. Like Zeno's paradox is a good example. So the hare and the tortoise are running toward a point, and there's a point at which the hare should pass the tortoise, but if you think about it, having the distance and having the distance, it's like there are infinite number of iterations, and the hare never passes the tortoise. But in actual point of fact, since the iterations aren't time, they're just iterations of length, they have nothing to do with time. There's no paradox there at all. So it's not really a paradox. The only paradox is when you imagine that each one of those iterations takes the same amount of time, which is not the case. So, it's actually a convergent series, and the sum of all those lengths is a finite sum. So, reincarnation, it would kind of be interesting. Of course, you have no way to know if any of that is real, but if it is, you know, then so much the better. Just like heaven is, if heaven is real, there's a celestial kingdom, then great. I want to apologize to my dad and tell him I'm sorry I didn't realize that he was a lot smarter than I thought he was. And a lot wiser than I thought he was. So, and, you know, I mean, I would appreciate that ability to be able to do that. But, since there's only one way to find out, then, you know. So that's green screen without a green screen, using zoom, using background removal. I could actually import other videos in there if I wanted, but I don't think, I don't think I would have to do that. But I mean, it's kind of interesting. I don't have a Core i7 on my gaming computer. I probably need to upgrade it. I need to put whatever I can put in there. That would be good to upgrade that puppy. Maybe double the memory in it too. It's pretty peppy now, but you know, the video card in it's a couple of generations old now at this point, and you know, still pretty good, but anyway, I'm gonna go get some more ice. I'll be back. I'd have to crack some ice. Have any more in the ice bucket? are. Okay. Yeah, that's kind of interesting. I feel like I mean, a lot of people have had those near-death experiences, and they um don't report similar experiences, um but I think the interesting thing is that they're no longer afraid of death once that's happened. So maybe we can learn something from that regardless. Yeah, if someone dies and comes back, then that would mean there was something, absolutely. So, you know, um, with anything like that, it usually just comes down to belief, but, um, I don't know, I didn't used to be a believer, and now I am, so it's kind of, I know, I understand both sides of it. Um, the internet connection at this beach is just awesome. 4200 upstream, 4200K upstream does it. I do it easily from out here on the porch, uh, from out here on the beach. Um, uh, if I was using my phone for internet, I could only get like 400 upstream, so it wouldn't look very good. I don't know. Actually, I think during the COVID, I think they may have turned off a lot of restrictions, but I don't know about upstream because upstream is, I think upstream is still restricted, but um as it is though, I have a senior plan anyway, so that means I get unlimited data and I don't have to pay for it. Well, you know, yeah, there's really that's the point. There's no point in being afraid of it. Um, and my wife does a lot of, or did used to do a lot of hospice work, and she's kind of death girl, and she says that it's what everyone should know about it is it's not it's not a horrible thing. It's not as bad as everyone is afraid it is. It's really not that bad at all. Um, so, you know, I gotta believe her because she's the expert. And um, so when you confuse this automatic background removal, it kind of like, you know, freaks out. Can kind of, you know, it's not as good as using, but it does work pretty well considering. I gotta say, it's pretty amazing. Uh, I am impressed with how well it works considering. If I put my hands around too much, it'll freak it out. Like if I move around, I don't know. Motion will kind of make it kind of come back, but but it's not sure what it wants to do. But if I put my hands here though, that's good. I can kind of, I start going out here, we're not sure what's going to happen. So it's you know, I mean there are other things to be afraid of that are more like for example, it's kind of like, I mean I understand people being afraid of let's see, if a fortune teller could tell me either how or when I would pass, which one would I pick? I think I would pick neither. What is this? It is a human chatting with a bunch of other humans. Well, that's the point. You really wouldn't know. But from someone's perspective of working in hospice, though, it can be a very peaceful thing. So, no, you have to pick one. Well, no, you don't. But let's just say I had to pick one. I don't know. That would be a tough one. I wouldn't want to know either one. I'll tell you, one thing that some people are, I mean, that I can understand being concerned about is, when you get older, you're wondering if you're not going to feel well, or, like you'll have aches and pains, or back will hurt, or maybe you'll have to have back surgery, or, if you don't exercise, it's no fun being like stiff and sore, and I will tell you this: the older you get, the more you have to exercise, because that's a way to feel pretty good most of the time. And if you do some real strength training throughout your life, you will generally feel pretty decent and not have a lot of aches and pains as you get older. But if you don't exercise much, then that can be bad. Exercise is very important, and the type of exercise, especially as you get older, it's better to do strength training that is non-destructive, which means not a lot of reps, but enough weight, and maybe the same exercise 3 to 5 times before you get tired. So you have to adjust the weight. You have to keep adjusting the weight, so you can only do 3 and 5, and you only do 1 set. And then you don't break down your muscle and your connective tissue, so it doesn't have to heal as much, but it does trigger muscle growth. And more importantly, it triggers new circulatory capillary production, which is really what keeps your cardiovascular in good shape also. So it's a thing, I don't know. What do I think of? What do I think of donation of your body parts? It sounds like a great idea. Why not do that? I mean, you be a little. People that can be a little nervous about it, because there's been a lot of dystopian stories written about how they kind of will let you die if you have the organ list. But I don't know if that's a thing you should really be afraid of. But, how likely is that to happen? I don't know. I think it's kind of neat, though, that people do it. There's a lot more that can be, there's a lot more, like the last couple of decades, there's a lot more transplantable stuff you can do. Although, I have a feeling transplants will become obsolete in the not too distant future, because I think they'll be able to grow. I think they'll be able to harvest your own stem cells, and they'll be able to make organs that you won't reject too. So, if heavens existed, I just wouldn't want to turn up missing an eye or something. I probably wouldn't work that way. I imagine in heaven, you would have like a new spiritual body, and it would be whole, and everything would work just fine, and however it would work, it would be you would not be missing the eye that you donated to your grandson or to a stranger or whatever. That'd be my feeling anyway. I don't know. I'm not an authoritative source to insist that that's true, but I think that's probably just the way we understand heaven to work. I think it's probably going to be more. It would be more like that. If heaven is real, then it's more like that. But nobody really knows. So yeah, you're absolutely. So, yeah, it's kind of nice to be out here, though. You know, I mean, I really enjoy this. This time of year is nice. It's not too hot out here. Basically, the spring. I don't know what month is this. Been quarantined so long in May. It's May. Late in May. So technically summer already. I don't know. Yeah, first day of summer. Let's see. Official first day of summer. Oh, June 20th. Technically June 20th. So I guess June isn't really the beginning of summer, it's June 20th. Okay. Okay. Uh, what type of music do I like? It is quite a wide range. I like and I play classical music or I studied classical music. So I like Bach a lot and I like Jake Hill. So everything in between, pretty much. I like music of all kinds if it's good. If it's structurally good, if it pulls at your heartstrings the right way, if it engages your nervous system in a way that you feel something, then it's good. It's structurally good. It's has emotional weight. It has gravitas. Um, then I don't really care what style it is. So I guess that's more of a musician's view of music. But but I have kind of like I don't have a type of music that I like more than others, really. I mean, there are some that I really like a lot, but when it's good, it really could be any style. So, like I said, I've been binging on Jake Hill here in the last little while, and I'm really liking his stuff. Yeah, but there again, you know, if it's if it's good, it could make you feel something. And so you just don't really know. Like any genre or style could have good or bad. And I feel like you know, you'll know it when you hear it. It's hard to say, "Oh, hi, Lortson, you're back." Um, it's you know it when you hear it. So doesn't matter what style. Like I've heard weird, really weird music that I thought, you know, weird thing like this weird chanting thing I heard once that um and I was just amazed because it made me cry and it was a weird, loud, raucous thing, you know, and um using vocables. I can't recall what it was called too, the type of music, but I remember thinking, wow, why is this making me cry? This is the strangest thing ever to make me cry, but it was so good that it was just waterworks, you know. So I just never know what's going to affect me. You know, I mean, a good piece of poetry or a good piece of literature or a good performance. Um, just never know what's going to give you goosebumps or chills or you know affect you emotionally in one way or another. And part of it has to be good structure. It has to be structurally good, and then it also has to be um, sublime in as many ways as possible to be the best it can be. You know. Um, Congratulations, you received 100 messages today with Restream chat. Okay. And it gives me a link to tweet it. Yeah, storyteller artists are good. I agree, I agree. Um, Immortal Technique, Dance with the Devil. If I listen to that, I'm gonna mute it because I don't want to. That's definitely a Claimville kind of thing, but well, let's see what we got here. See what it does for me. Is it playing yet? It uses the love story theme as a loop. Good stuff. Good story. I don't want to sit here and watch it though, because you can't hear it or see it. So, um, yeah, interesting. Yeah, it was a good story. Good story. Good, good. It gives you a lot to think about. Yeah. I put some of my stuff on BitChute, and I don't have very many subscribers on BitChute. Um, but I definitely get a lot more views on there than on YouTube. It's interesting. Maybe 5 times as many. Because YouTube demotes everyone these days. So, yeah. Uh, yeah. It's kind of interesting how someone can tell a story in a way like that. I don't know. Oh, I guess I can turn my sound back on. Yeah, I'd like to. Yeah. A song with a story to follow is so good, and with the nice instrumental, performs so greatly. Yeah, that was an interesting. That was an interesting set of loops in that tune because you know, I'm familiar with the original. Um, you know, like back in the early 70s, there was a movie called Love Story, and that's the theme to Love Story, and it was a big hit too. It was actually a hit. You know, it was a top 10, top 40 hit at some point. Um, and might have even been the late 60s. I don't know. I don't recall perfectly, but um, it's kind of a amazing reach back many, many decades to get loop material. My goodness. Yeah, well, I'll probably be here. I don't know. I'll just um I don't know how long I'll be out here. What time is it anyway? Oh, it's still got some daylight left, so I'll probably hang out for a while. Yeah. So, so I guess I'm kind of gonna work for a while since I don't think anyone's kind of on right now. So maybe I'll do something else. Sven. Okay, well, there we go. Hi there. I was just thinking about writing a story, like a little story for like a story script for a video, but I'm not sure. Do you uh do you mean like Swedish tobacco powder? No, I do not. I have never I did smoke for a while. I got quite a story as a result of that, actually. Uh, but I smoked for a little while, sort of like in my mid 30s, and changed my life in ways that I did not understand completely or at all, really. And that's something I can do a video about. Actually, that would actually be interesting. That would be, because that's not a topic that people address in that way usually. Like they basically just address tobacco use by whether it's healthy or not, and you know how dangerous it can be and things like that, and you know, and there are definitely other considerations which come into play, and which definitely came into play for me. So I mean, in some ways I'm glad I quit smoking before I was 40, but it certainly made my life very difficult once I did. Although I had no trouble quitting, it made things very difficult to do and difficult to keep track of things, and I pretty much went back to how I was before I started smoking, except that I frustrated because I couldn't do the things that I'd gotten used to being able to do in those last, say, 5 or 6 years that I smoked, where I could just do so much. I was able to keep a lot more going than I did, and obviously I was medicating myself with not just nicotine, but the combination of alkaloids and other chemicals that came out of that smoke that made me very productive. So took me a long time to come to terms with it and even understand what the cause of it was, and understand why all of a sudden I couldn't do anything. It was very difficult to deal with. I don't know, there's a I used to work at this place that used to allow smoking indoors. This is back when it was, it wasn't mandatory to have no smoking workplaces, but they finally switched to no smoking. In ahead of the legal change was probably another 5 or 6 years down the road, but they decided to go with a no smoking office. And this was a lot of people packed into a tight space it was a very monotonous job, calling people on the phone, doing surveys. And it was sort of a fallback job that a lot of people used when they lost their real job. They could always work there because there was high turnover. But the turnover when they decided to go to a non-smoking office, and I was one of the non-smokers there, so I did not understand how people worked there, because I always quit after a month or two. I just couldn't take it any longer than that. And I remember thinking, looking back on it, once I started smoking, I realized, well, this is how people could stand doing that job. If you have a cigarette, pretty content just about anywhere. And gives you the ability to concentrate and focus, and there are some pluses, minuses, and when they went to a no smoking office, prior to that they had a dress code and they were much more corporate and etc. They ran a very tight ship, but as soon as they went to non-smoking, they couldn't keep employees. Basically, people just quit right and left, and they had to first they removed their dress code, and then they removed they removed all kinds of restrictions and rules just to get people in there to do the job. It was really hard to get people to do the job, so managed to get people in that had unusual appearances or spiky hair, punk rockers like that, people that couldn't do mainstream jobs because of their appearance. Appearance was more important than career. And so these people could do that job, but they hated it too, and they quit a lot. So there was a high turnover. They could barely keep enough people in once they went to an office. They really could. They had to really change everything. And back when the office was always stressful of all kinds, and back when people spoke at their desk, things got done, I think. I'm guessing that the change was palpable, and we suffered a lot of, obviously it's not a healthy thing to do, but in terms of productivity and concentration and stuff, I think we probably lost a lot of productivity because smokers they concentrate better. They are better workers. You can't smoke everywhere. You can't smoke on an assembly line, but that's why you pay those people a lot, though, because it's a tough, monotonous job, and they have to be aware and you need good people. But in an office, boy, you could could let people smoke at their desk and they could tolerate stuff. When they stopped smoking at their desks in offices, people started smashing their monitors, their computer monitors, and breaking their cubicles and throwing things at people and getting in fights. And you know, um, it made office work very different for a lot of people. Even though some of them weren't smokers to begin with, they still weren't as effective as the smokers had been. I think that's probably the thing. And now I went off on a tobacco tangent. But yeah, that was those are my thoughts. As far as using tobacco products, I don't really know like what's different. Like snuff and types of things like smokeless tobacco is not the same as smoking it. I don't recall feeling the same way when trying it as a kid, you know. But generally, I'm kind of a goody two-shoe when it comes to doing adult things like that. You know, I think, yeah, I can imagine it must well, until you get used to it. You know, that's how cigarettes are too. They hit hard. It hits hard on, you know, smoking cigarettes hits hard until you get used to it. Takes a couple of months or some weeks or months, you know. Um, but I imagine like a lot of people are able to concentrate more with it. I don't know if it's just the nicotine though. I have a feeling that in tobacco smoke there's an undiscovered set of drugs there that are better for managing ADD symptoms than any of the current drugs on the market. It's not just the nicotine. It's you know there's 1,500 different compounds in tobacco smoke, so who knows which one or combination of them are important for managing those kind of symptoms. I have a feeling it's not just nicotine, although nicotine is a major one. But I used to vape, and vaping was good. I mean, it did help some, but it was never as good as smoking, even in strong quantities of nicotine vape juice. It was never the same thing. So. Um, but, and I didn't do it for the enjoyment. I did it to see if it would help me manage ADD symptoms. And, basically though, I mean, the problem with smoking and with other things like that is, I don't really like the yin feel of things, you know, like, even caffeine. I like the feel of I like the feel of or I like the effect of caffeine in a mild dose. Like that's why I drink soda, but I drink soda that's not sweetened, and I drink it and I dilute it a lot with a lot of ice, so it gets really watered down, and so I don't really drink it in huge concentration of caffeine. So, but it seems to be a thing. So let's see what we got here. What link did you send me? Oh, okay. The art of snoozing. Okay. Oh, okay, I see. It is made differently. It's not fermented, and it's that's very interesting. It's illegal in all European Union countries except for Sweden? Huh. And it's also the most common form of tobacco in Norway. Okay. Very interesting. No, I'd never heard of that, but evidently it's unfermented tobacco. So it's not cured. It's just sort of powdered and ground up and done in a fresh way, so it's not fermented at all. That's pretty interesting, I guess. Oh, they have become legal in Europe? Oh, okay. I see. The Wikipedia article is a little bit outdated then, I guess. What happened? I don't know. I'm just typing. I'm working on something. What did you send me here? Let me see. Was writing something. I didn't put it up on the screen, but oh, trying snooze for the first time. Oh my goodness. Okay. Yeah, pretty interesting. How long have I been streaming? 3.5 hours? Like 3.5, 2.5, I don't know. 2.5, almost 3 hours. Just wondering. Alright, I'll be right back. I'll be right back. I'm gonna... Need more ice? I could use more. Alright. I think I'm gonna quit for now. It was fun, you guys, but and I appreciate everyone dropping by. I guess I'm gonna leave it. I'm gonna leave it there. Bye-bye, everyone.